Welcome to the Best 5 Minute Wine Podcast with Forrest Kelly.
When you think about Italy, what comes to mind? Probably think about pizza, wine, maybe a few loud family arguments about both. Well, in talking with Erica, the author of A Story About Pizza, she gives us some secrets behind great pizza dough and why wine belongs at every table and why Italians seem to be born with both a rolling pin and a corkscrew in hand. Let's find out what happens when passion flour and a little Lambrusco come together.
Well, it really depends on what type of dough that you make. You know, you could make an instant dough with like yeast and flour and water and make a fresh dough. And then lately, I've been doing a lot of sourdough. So sourdough has a process where it's proofed and it's refrigerated. So the key, I think, is to get really the light, airy, crispy dough. With the sauce, I would say just get a very high quality sauce and keep it simple. Like the Bianco di Napoli is a really nice sauce. It's a very good. Red Path makes a nice sauce, but something that you don't really have to put a lot of spices, maybe some fresh basil. And then for cheese, of course, you want Parmesan cheese. Mozzarella cheese, but there's so many different pizzas these days and so many people trying different recipes, which is what I really love about the pizza industry. Is it's really become so much of an artisan, creative industry with all these different flavors and combinations, and it's just very beautiful.
I heard, I was watching the Food Channel one time, and they said traditional Italians don't put the sauce on the dough. They put it after the cheese goes on because they don't want the sauce making the dough soggy. Is that a thing, or are you just making stuff up?
That is one type of pizza that people will make. I really personally love a thin New York pizza, which is, you put the sauce on first and you put the cheese. You use a low moisture mozzarella and it's nice and thin and crispy. But there are pizzas where, the sauce is put on after, or, you put the cheese first and then you put the sauce. And those are also very delicious pizzas. I'm one of those people that if you put a pizza in front of me, I'm going to be happy. I don't care what kind it is. I mean, don't give me pineapple, but otherwise I'm going to be happy.
Do you think pizza is more of an art or a science?
I think it's a combination of both. I would say 50-50 because you have to use the science part to really get your dough recipe perfect. And so many people who have pizzerias, they have everything measured. They have the dough and the sauce and the cheese and all measured. But a good pizza, the reason why it's good is because it is art and it is made with love.
So in that process there, where do you see that most people leave a part out? Is it that the oven isn't hot enough or they cook it too long? What would you say?
I think sometimes depending on the oven you have, if the oven isn't hot enough, that can be an issue. The other thing is just really the dough. The dough sometimes is the most tricky part. I would say the dough and then maybe the cooking of it.
Where do you see wine in the whole pizza scheme? Obviously, you were saying that early in your childhood that the families gathered together drinking wine and having the pizza.
Absolutely. I mean, in the early days of the pizzeria, and I actually was just speaking to my dad about this because the pizzeria just celebrated their 65th year in business. And he said that, the family members would get together and the people in the local neighborhood and they would make wine. Now, regarding the wine that I really love and that we serve, I don't really drink a lot of wine, but my family's pizzeria, our house wine is the Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. And I really love that because it's just very sentimental to me. My grandfather loved it, but we also have Lambrusco Frizzante, which is an amazing wine. And we had that when we went to Italy, and it's something that, we have often. It's a red wine, but it's like it has bubbles, and it's actually so delicious. I had it for the first time in Parma, Italy, and it was incredible.
Oh, wow. So what were you doing in Parma?
My dad, he actually took our whole family there many years ago, and then we really became kind of addicted to going to Italy. And my dad's been there 35 times. In fact, he's getting his citizenship right now. So he spent the better part of the last year living there. And we just have gone, and we have cousins that live in Abruzzo. So we go and we visit our family, and we've traveled around, and it's really been so amazing just, eating, drinking wine and experiencing the culture.
Oh, I agree. The culture is the key. Pizza fills the plate, wine fills the glass, and together they fill the soul.
The Best 5 Minute Wine Podcast.
Don't forget my favorite part.
Please like and follow. Oh.